Hello and welcome to Box Free with Stephanie. Today I want to show you how to make some basic foods with simple ingredients from scratch, and I hope you discover cooking box free is fast and delicious. So let's cook together. Today we're going to make cappuccino mousse because it's this fun little simple dessert that tastes really good and is really quite simple and very satisfying because it has half a cup of cream. So that's what we're going to start with. It really is not a true mousse because it's really kind of just like whipped topping, whipped cream with extra stuff in it. So I like it because it's got a nice coffee taste, it's not overwhelming, and it's a very small amount. This is what I'm going to put them in, so it's just this really cute little dessert. So what I'm going to do is my half a cup of cream, I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of this espresso powder, which I got this to make tiramisu, and then of course, you know, I've just had a bunch of it, and so I've discovered a few more ways to use it, and this is one of the ways that I like to use it. So I'm going to just blend this in. My other really good teeny tiny whisk is dirty, so I didn't wash it, so I'm going to just use my spoon, and all I'm trying to do is get this powder to be whisked in. So I don't want to whip my cream until my powder from my espresso powder is all blended in. And once you do this enough, it'll be a nice tan. There won't be little, you know, pebbles or little granules of powder. It'll be an actual tan solution. So it just takes a minute. And this was a recipe that I saw somewhere, and it called for this espresso powder, but it came in, you're supposed to, like, that recipe said make this and then basically put it in phyllo cups or whatever, which I never have phyllo dough, and I just like the filling, I guess, the good stuff. So I was like, I'm just gonna put it in my cute little dessert cups, and I'm not gonna like put it the way the recipe said. So as usual, I just changed the recipe to what I wanted. So this is a little bit stronger coffee and stronger cinnamon than what the original recipe was. And that's because that's just the way I like it. So if you try this amount of coffee or cinnamon and it's too much, just adjust it, because I think it's really, I mean, I think it does have a strong cinnamon taste. But I like that personally. So, and if you think it's like too much coffee taste, then just change that too. So, as always, do what you want for what you and your family love, or for what your guests want. Okay, so I'm kind of calling it quits on this. It's pretty good. I have a few granules, but I'm hoping once I start whipping that it will all be blended in. Okay, so now I have this gorgeous espresso whipping cream, which would probably be just really good if I were to heat it up and add some sugar. But I'm going to add some sugar. So I need 2 tablespoons of sugar to make this kind of a nice dessert sweetness, which, you know, this is kind of hefty for half a cup of whipping cream. Like you were making just regular whipping cream, I feel like 2 tablespoons is a lot, but in this recipe I want that much. Then I'm doing, I gotta take this off, a 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon, which again is kind of a lot. I like it really, the strong cinnamon, because I personally like cinnamon. So if you don't, just do it just a little bit less. And then I'm doing 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt, just to make sure we can taste everything. So just that much. And that I'm gonna measure. I hardly ever measure salt, but 1/8 of a teaspoon I have to measure. Now I'm gonna do is whip this until I get some good stiff peaks. So it might not be very much fun, but here we go. It should take about 2 or 3 minutes. Okay, I'm gonna call that done. So I really whip this to be quite stiff because I have to kind of manipulate it a bunch to get it in my little cups. So these are like really stiff peaks, you know, I mean, it's just so yummy. Okay, so anyway, this is what you're going for. And I like it nice and stiff. Again, if you want it to be much softer, just do it the way you want. And this is kind of my goofy way of dealing with these little bitty cups. I do love these things. Got these from my friend Nicole years ago, and I've used them a bunch. They're super great for something like this, which is a very rich, satisfying dessert. And so you don't need like a whole cup of it. You need like an ounce, just enough to get you some bites and be delicious. So then I try to like scrape it off. That's a little bit nicer. And then I'll clean them up in a minute. Okay, so I'm gonna do that for my 3 little glasses here. Now I think I could put this into my little bitty, not little, but my like frosting thing, whatever that gadget's called. And then I could just like squeeze it out. So if you were making this for a lot of people, maybe you'd want to actually put them into even a Ziploc baggie and cut the hole, but something where you could pipe it into your cups. This is a little bit of a, you know, goofy, messy way to do it, but I don't mind it. I don't mind that it takes me a minute or so. So I'm just saying, however you want to get your mousse in here is fine with me. You do it your way. And you could put this in any kind of dessert cup. If this is too small for you, then put it in like a fancy little dessert dish, you know, more like a custard cup, or some fancy wine glasses or something would be way easier to put it in than these cute things. But these are my favorites, so I like to use these when I've got this kind of rich, yummy dessert. So now I'm only going to do 3 because you get the idea, right? So now I have my little paper towel sitting here, and I'm going to just kind of go along the edge, make sure that everybody's looks perfect. Then that's pretty much it. I mean, this is like a super, super fast and I think very satisfying dessert. Now I'm going to sprinkle cocoa powder on the top. So I generally suggest chilling this for like an hour just to make sure that, actually I'm going to do some almonds on the other, just to make sure that it's nice and cold. Even though I just pulled this out of the fridge, you could definitely serve it like right now, which is fine. But if you have time, make it like an hour ahead of time and let it get nice and cold in the fridge. Then when you go to serve it, you could pull this out. Although you don't even have to. I did do mine last time, and it sat for a good, I don't know, probably 3 hours with the, you know, the cocoa and the nuts, and it was fine. So you can dress this up any way you want. And don't eat this. I did this one time where I was like, oh, it's cocoa, I'll just lick it. Like, it's not very good. So let me just wipe my fingers off. So don't do that. But what's the other thing I was going to say? Chocolate chips, mini chocolate chips also work really nicely. And then I've never sprinkled the espresso powder on, which I'm going to just try today because I don't know why I've never thought of that before. But that's really fine. So you can hardly tell the difference between, well, I guess this is just darker, but this is my espresso powder, this is my cocoa powder, and then this has the almonds with the cocoa powder. So again, mini chocolate chips, you could do marshmallows, oh, shaved chocolate. I just don't have a chocolate bar right now, otherwise I think I would like shaved chocolate, so that's why I got the cocoa powder. Okay, then if you have a really fun, fancy spoon that you can serve it with, you put those out. This is my fancy, some kind of national park spoon, and then you just serve it and you eat it. I don't know. Okay, with the cocoa powder, you know, it's that really bitter, kind of hard to eat thing, but once you get past that, I think it's so good. It's a very strong coffee and strong cinnamon. So again, if you decide that you want more coffee or more cinnamon, just adjust the recipe. And then I'm going to put this in a bigger dish and eat that later. Okay, that's it. Cappuccino mousse, like the fastest, really satisfying dessert, and just a little bit of caffeine, so you could actually serve this after dinner and people won't be up till midnight. So thanks very much for watching Box Free with Stephanie. I hope you like the show. I hope you make some cappuccino mousse and your guests and family think it's just delicious. I appreciate your time watching the show. I'll see you next time. Bye.